What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to Telling Stories, Horror Hangout. Man, we're doing a little bit of combo today. I got some very, very special guests with me today. I got Christopher Matthew Spencer and Sam Brooks from MALUM. Is it MALUM or MALUM?
MALUM.
MALUM. Bro, I'm saying it the wrong way.
You know how many people say MALUM, though? It's like this French avant-garde film.
So MALUM.
Yeah, MALUM.
Let's just say MALUM from now on.
Bro,
say MALUM.
It sounds nice.
We're
it's like
with
a
you,
French
Randall,
avant-garde horror film.
MALUM.
Dude, that's what it sounds like. So MALUM. But you guys know how much I enjoyed this movie, so I wanted to. Christopher, you commented on my review, and I just was like, hey, you wanna? And you're like, sure. Here's an email address.
Yes.
I'm like, what? Yes. Awesome. Like, because I have had a couple of really cool people on my channel, and it was just because y'all were nice enough to just say what's up. And so yeah, we're hanging out for a little bit talking about MALUM. I'm gonna mess that up again, I guarantee you.
MALUM.
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 Bro, when you said it was MALUM, my brain went, I got him.
Je ne sais quoi.
So yeah, okay. So I've got a couple of questions. Like I said a minute ago, I'll ask a couple of questions and we'll just chit chat for a little while, man. I want to know about what you guys are doing, not just about this movie, if you want to talk about it. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was, how did you guys wind up doing this movie? Was horror like a intentional direction you were going, or did you just kind of apply for a job, so to speak, and then get it?
Okay. So I think for me, horror was, I used to watch a lot of horror growing up. Then I kind of fell off the wagon there for a bit. And I didn't really watch horror films. And then I picked it back up. I saw some A24 stuff and I was like, damn, I remember this thrill. You know, I think it was like Hereditary, then Midsommar, then The Witch. And I was like, man, I fell off for a while. And I used to watch, you know, all the classics and whatnot. And then somehow right after that, I started getting booked for horror. I think the first horror I did was Fear Street Part 2 in 1978, which is R.L. Stine's trilogy. I played Arnie in that. And then I got booked for one that's still in post-production called The Unraveling, which is like if you took Jacob's Ladder and A Marriage Story and they fucked and had a baby, that's kind of what that would be. And I played the lead in that. And then I got booked for Last Shift is what it was called beforehand. It's like the remaking of The Last Shift, but now it's MALUM. And so that's kind of, and then I did another movie last year, which was like a murder mystery horror kind of, it's kind of just been this genre that I've kind of gotten fortunate enough to get thrown into. It
kind of, from my understanding, and I'm looking from the outside in, I understand that that's kind of how a lot of people get their start, because horror movies, it's not even because people are looking to cast you in it. It's because horror movies are a little bit more affordable to make, again, from my understanding. So they get made very frequently. And so there's a lot of roles to fill. So you can get your start doing that, get noticed, get dramatic roles or comedy roles, whatever it is you're looking for after that, voice acting, whatever. How did you get into the horror stuff, Christopher?
Well, you probably know from Googling me that I have been a business guy for many decades now. So the way it went down is I just, after COVID hit, it's like, I'm sitting around going, okay, what am I going to do? I mean, I got a roof, I've got meals, I'm okay. I got a car or whatever. And so I said, okay, I've always been a lifelong lover of acting. Junior high school, I loved acting. I did repertory theater. I was in the school play. My horror experience started with Friday the 13th. I remember, Sean Cunningham's movie in 1980. I remember seeing that movie, and as a kid, I couldn't. That movie. Just as a kid, I could not even go to sleep. I was like,
let's go.
I had to have the lights on. You have to think I think I was 11 years old or something. I had to have the lights on. And that movie went on to I think it cost $500,000. It went on to make like $60 million. And
that's a win there.
It was a total, total win. And so when COVID hit, I was like, okay, what am I going to do with my time? I really like acting. I didn't want to, before COVID, I didn't really want to spend, LA is like, if you go to Santa Monica is like 4 miles away, 5, maybe 6 miles away from me, right? It's an hour to get there, right? That's the way LA works.
No,
it's really funny. It's funny that way.
Dude, so Houston's very similar.
it's like that. So, you know, when the acting thing, I was like, do I really want to do the 3 hours for an audition? And it's like a 3 hour commitment. And so here comes Zoom. And so I was submitting all these casting notices saying, hey, you know, I'm interested in doing
That's
this.
awesome.
And suddenly people started hiring me. I'm like, I had no idea. But yeah, of course, I'm an extreme character type in my mind. And so Joey, and please, Joey, if you're listening and I'm butchering your last name, I've actually never heard your last name. Montenere. Oh, yeah, it's like hard to pronounce.
Casting for Malum. No, I'm playing. Malum.
Malum.
Yeah, he's a hell of a casting director out of Kentucky.
Nice.
He's a great guy. He was a great guy. Joey has a big heart, and he's like, okay, this unknown kind of business guy from California, never really did a big movie before, never been on the big screen before. Let's give this guy a chance. So Joey drags me into this Zoom, and I'm like, Joey, yes, baby, I get to audition.
That's
for
rad,
a big
though.
movie. And
Zoom
so
is huge.
It was the greatest.
Well, it's the thing about self tapes, man. It's like once self tapes hit the scene, it opened it up to basically the entire world. I could be anywhere in the world and send in a self tape. Like, now, granted, if they find out I'm across this, like, you know, if I'm in Australia, they'd be like, we're going to go with this guy down the street. But,
well, I mean, COVID was awful. And I had it twice. Once was very serious. Like, it was scary serious. And I lost one friend from COVID. And I know a couple people that have lost friends and family. But with every, like, swing left, there's also a swing right. And I massively benefited from the situation we were in. It gave me YouTube, because I wasn't doing this before COVID, man. I was running a comic book shop. I owned a comic book store. I was just 70 hours a week in my comic book shop. And so
70 hours a week,
bro, open to close 7 days a week, bro. It was my store.
That's commitment, dude.
Bro. Yeah. Yes.
Respect.
And I had one like part-time helper occasionally. And, you know, and then when I lost it, because it just went, dude, I went like on like February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2020, find out we're having another baby, right? My birthday, March 10th.
That's a love baby right
dude, bro,
there, man.
No, it's straight up, bro. Stoked, dude. So my birthday's in March 10th. So like for a few weeks, we're just like having another kid. Shop's doing great. Turning 39. Boom. COVID. So like a week after my birthday, I literally went from like having a successful business to closed. Damn. I mean, it was like, I mean, talk about emotional, bro. It was wild, dude. So, but that opened a door, because I started doing YouTube back then, but it was like 50 subscribers. I was doing comic reviews. It wasn't really meant to do anything except have some fun, to where I went from that to being bored and going, all right, I started creating videos, which led to like, oh, I know more about music than I do comics. Let's do that. Oh, I love movies more than I do anything else. Let's talk about that. Let's forget the comics altogether. Let's do this. And then boom, now I'm movies and music. And that's all I do all day. My store is movies and music. I work at a theater bar. Like, a bar I work at is Alamo Draft House, bro. Like, everything I do is movie related. Yeah. So again, silver linings, you know,
exactly.
Horrible thing for the world to go through, but there's always going to be something that people can benefit from if you look deep enough.
So Randall,
it's beautiful in a strange way, man. You know,
it's weird. Yeah, it is.
Well, I mean, Randall, what's up?
No, I was just going to say, Randall, you know, you found a whole new love now, and then
dude,
you're a broadcaster.
It's weird because like I have this whole setup that I would have never.
You're a film company. You're a media company now.
It's wild, bro. Like it's so strange, man. I don't even understand it, but I love it so much, man. I love talking to people, and yeah, it's just awesome. You know, I have a question that my friend said, "Hey, you should find out about this," and I was like, "That's actually a really good question." So when you guys were getting ready to do this movie, when you were given the role of cops, was there any reservations at all to be playing policemen right now? Because it's a very polarizing character, very polarizing group of people. You know, the police have never been more hated in our history than they are right now. And I don't know that that's necessarily even 100% fair, but it is what it is. And, you know how the news is, it's bombastic. You only hear the negative stuff. You don't hear all the positive things that happen. So was there any, did you even think about that?
Nah, I didn't think about it. I don't see it like that, man. This is like its own realm. Like in the realm of Malum, you know, that shit's not going on right now. So
that's
it's
a good point.
You know,
that's actually a really good answer.
This world that we're in spoiler alerts, like at the beginning, we're alive, we're cool, we're buddy. I mean, we're partners and we're good friends with Eric's character and the Captain Lauren. And then we're dead. The rest of we're ghosts. So we're just like little shits anyways. So, you know, we're part
Man,
of.
I loved y'all's like so oftentimes you get some whatever it is, food, a book or an album, and it's like I didn't want to finish my plate, or the album was 90 minutes. I could have taken 45 instead. I liked y'all's characters. I wanted more. I was like, that was awesome, dude. Like I really thought the mischievous nature, it was very Ren and Stimpy. Like it was very but like
yeah, dude.
but like devilish, if that makes any sense. It was like
it was culty.
Like that. Culty Ren and Stimpy. And it was like I wanted more of it, but that's a good thing, man. When it leaves you wanting more, it's oftentimes a better experience than when you were
rather that than people like, man, I would have taken that scene out. And,
Yep.
But Randall, about the cop question, as far as I was concerned, I'm willing to play. I only have certain, like my no line, a no line is that for those people that have never heard of the no line, I know you all have heard this, but my no line is the place where I don't go. I don't, I have nothing against same-sex marriages or whatever, but I don't want to play gay characters. No problem. If other people are gay, it's fine. I don't want to play.
If you're heterosexual in real life, it'd be pretty tough to play a gay character, I would think.
I don't wish to play somebody who's a child abuser. I don't wish to play some.
There's my line. That's my line.
I don't want to play somebody who beats up women. But as far as being a professional actor goes, Denzel Washington's production company reached out to me for the piano lesson because Netflix. Netflix announced that they're doing the piano lesson. It's it's a remake. It's another remake about, well, you can look it up. But the point is that I got an audition for this and I read the sides and I was like, this guy is like such a redneck, racist. And, I look at it this way. I grew up in Virginia and I'm not a person who discriminates against people. I look at everybody individually as a person. And I feel the same way about police officers. I think that overwhelmingly people are good. And I think there are a few bad eggs out there in every part of the world. And that doesn't, it doesn't affect my decision to do a role. I feel like if somebody gives me a role, I'm going to take that role to the max.
There's also this other side of the coin where it's like, if you take these roles, these hard roles that people you read and you just can hate these fucking people, man. And there's been roles like that to where I've been like this close to getting, and deep down inside I'm very conflicted about it because I hate this person and like the way they wrote it, and it's just like, God, you just want to reach through the page and like punch them right in the jaw. But playing those and bringing that justice and to where everyone watching you hates this character, I think that's like bringing justice to that role because that's what the writers.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Portray,
I think that picking a role would be extremely personal, and I don't think there's any right or wrong way to do it. I've always kind of thought that I could probably act because I don't have any shame. Like I'll do kind of just anything. Like I think that it's not even shame is the right word, but like I don't get embarrassed, and I know that that's something that I've seen people deal with in small like plays and stuff. Like they get embarrassed. It's hard for them to do things on stage in front of people, and like I've had a lot of practice. I was in bands. I've done a lot of stuff on camera. So like I've always thought that, but I always thought, what kind of thing would I want to do? And I mean, I'm heavily tattooed, so I don't know what that would do, but like I always thought like there's certain things that I probably am not really trying to do, and I would probably get typecast a lot based on my physical appearance. Like, hey, let's get this guy to fill in this role of like some kind of whatever, man, thug or whatever.
They airbrush that out, Randall. They airbrush.
Do they really?
Yeah, you would spend some time in the chair, bro. You would be like 4 or 5 hours,
man, all the time.
Dude, that's kind of awesome.
It would take some time.
All the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, there's this stuff called Derma Blend. Have y'all heard of this stuff? It's a makeup. It's a makeup, and I don't know if it's still around, but way back when I got a job at a hospital. Not, I was like maintenance or something, but like I got a job there, and I was pretty young, but I was already like pretty heavily tattooed, and they did the job interview over the phone, so they didn't know what I looked like.
Yeah, that's
Which,
hilarious.
you know what? I thought it was awesome because they hired me without seeing me, and I thought that's a good way to hire people, because if you hire people based solely on their physical appearance, you're going to make some mistakes. And I got there, and the guy was like, "Oh," like audibly, like, "Oh," and I was like, "What's up, dude?" And I mean, I was wearing like a nice shirt and slacks and stuff. He's like, "Hey, is there any way you can cover up like just the neck tattoos?" And I was like, "I have no idea, but I'll try." So I called my tattoo shop. I'm like, "Hey, what would you guys recommend if I need?" They said Dermablend. It's like a makeup. It's real thick. It's expensive, but it'll cover you. It won't rub off on your clothes. Bro, this stuff is like a little bitty jar, like the size of a Coke can, right? Like this, and like, you know, real thin. $15, and that's back 20 years ago.
Damn,
but it was
probably
so
30.
Man, probably more than that, man. But I remember putting it on, and it shocked me how well it covered it up. And like, I had a girl at the counter match my skin tone, and I would put it on, and it felt so weird because I could see like it looked like, and it didn't look like I had makeup on. It just looked like me with no
neck tats. You're like, damn, like 15 again?
Yeah. Oh, I found there's a picture of me on my Instagram of about age 16 or so, and it just looks so strange because I got no tattoos. But yeah,
I live right up the street from Warner Brothers, Disney Warner Brothers. So I took a job working on a show called Winning Time.
Place.
It is a fun place. I mean, Disney is right up the street too. So I went to Warner Brothers, and I worked on a show called Winning Time. Great actors, Academy Award winners on the show. You know, we have Adrian Brody and lots of great actors.
Yeah, that is a great actor.
Sally Field, all professionals. And so they have all these stunt. They're considered stunt performers. The really tall basketball players, because you know the actors. I don't think I'm saying anything that nobody already knows, but the actors, you can look at their height and realize Adrian Brody is not as tall as the character.
He's not 6'7".
So
you know.
right. so the actors are wearing these really huge platform styrofoam shoes, and so
that's awesome.
You know, when you do the close-ups, when they do the close-ups, it's the actor, but far away they have stunt actors, right?
Sure, yeah.
The basketball players. So
cool.
Every single day, I get there real early because I'm always early to every job. So I get there real early, and they've got the airbrushes out. There's 20 makeup chairs. I don't know, 25 makeup chairs, and they've got all the stunt. Every one of them's like from here down, it's all tattoos.
That's awesome.
And within like 30 minutes, they're all covered. Everything's covered.
Just an airbrush assembly line, dude. Just next.
Come on, assembly line.
Next.
That's awesome. And see, I never thought about that. I always kind of wondered if it was like a digital cover up, but that would cost a lot more money.
That would cost a shit ton of money.
Okay, because
you
would
have to track it, you know, because it's all moving motion. When you have to track, I would feel like you'd have to track that.
No, that makes so much more sense. Like I would think that you'd almost want to, because there's a lot of actors that have way more tattoos than you would.
Tom Hardy, The Rock, like all those guys are just tatted the fuck up. So they're spending hours in the chair.
What about our boy Shia LaBeouf that tattooed that whole entire chest piece just for that one role?
He also tore out his tooth, bro. This dude is out there.
Man, so he's one of my favorite people because he's so interesting. Like I love his acting style, and I love that he's extremely flawed, but that he just talks about it and like. The dude's got he's got some stuff going on, but like
you know who else pulled out their tooth? Man. Nicolas Cage pulled out his tooth.
That's my favorite actor of all time.
I love Nick Cage, man. I love Shia too. Their commitment to the craft. Anybody that committed to the craft has my full respect.
Dude, you're gonna watch Renfield, dude? I can't wait for that movie, bro.
Oh yeah, bro. That looks awesome.
Let's go.
I was seeing like that role as I don't know the actor's name, but he's his hitman basically. He brings him the food.
He was the one that was in the menu.
Holy yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was that fellow. I can't remember his name because my memory's really.
But I saw the stunts he was pulling. I was like, dude, I want to be that role. So I want to do something like that so bad.
Oh, you'll
it's
get
comedy,
there, man.
it's stunts. You know, that's the idea.
Get there.
For sure.
Dude, look, man.
Did you watch the menu? It's
good.
I like it's amazing. I saw that one about 3 times. Dude, man, yeah, dude.
So good.
The movie's so good, and the end of it is so well written. Like, it would have been easy to just trash that ending. Like, that would have been
easy to trash that whole film.
Like,
that was a very carefully.
Yeah, no, that was, dude. I heard a few people because, like I said, I work at Alamo Drafthouse, which shout out to Alamo Drafthouse. The place is rad.
Shout out,
bro.
Let's have another.
the fact that I'm able to be at the front of that place and like, you know, I'm the guy you see when you walk in and they're not worried about anything about physical appearance. It's just, I think that's awesome, man. They have a lot of people that are truly themselves that work there. It's great. Anyways, what I was going to say was, I heard quite a few people that were like, nah, I didn't like that movie. And I was like, explain to me what you didn't like about it. And they're like, well, it was just so unrealistic. I'm like, have you ever had a lot of money? Because I don't think it was that unrealistic, man. Like, I bet there's places that are just like that in the world. I bet there's places that have.
There's someone doing that right now.
Some dude's got an island with like a set menu, and you go in, it's $1,500 a plate, and then he just burns you alive. Like,
someone's doing that right now, dude. This one's crazy, bro.
Some hokey art type's gonna be like, that was beautiful. They killed a bunch of people in this restaurant, and it was just. Chef's kiss. And like, what are you talking about? No, but yeah, there's upscale dining is a wild thing. I don't know a lot about it, but I watched some of it on TV because it does interest me. My dad was I don't know if I'd call him a chef. He had a cookbook. I mean, a published cookbook.
Oh, that's chef material, bro.
Yeah, but so like I just kind of like, it's something when I see it, I go, huh, what's that? And so I'll watch it occasionally, and it's very, I mean, it's not, I don't know, I can't imagine ever going to a restaurant and eating food that looked like what they serve at these places, because
I've never been behind in the kitchen in a Michelin star restaurant or anything like that, but I imagine that pace and that environment is very much like hazing in a fraternity. Like I feel like that would be it, man. You have the chef yelling at you, you have him like talking like, you're a worthless piece of shit, get the fucking sous vide right, you son of a bitch. And then it's like, you know, it's like, get out of here, out of my kitchen. You know, I don't know, but
just making people cry. You're like, this is a little salty. It's like, it was just tears, buddy.
I saw the bear once. You know, I saw the bear. I saw the bear once, and that's my whole interpretation of like now Michelin star restaurants.
That's that. I feel like a TV show or a movie.
It was a TV show on FX. I think it was
the kid that was in
Jeremy Allen.
Didn't he play that kid from the? Oh,
Jeremy. Man. Dude, I could be. He was in Shameless.
That's the show.
Dude, he's a great actor.
He is a very good one. He has like the droopy eyes. Always looks like he's high.
Yeah, I'm slipping on his name. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah, no,
I feel like everybody who works in a kitchen, they're all chain smokers. That's just my mind just goes there.
You know the craziest.
It's so stressful. I used to be a chain smoker.
I smoked for almost 20 years, man. I quit.
Jeremy Allen White, that's what it is.
Okay,
He plays Lip Gallagher. Yeah,
Lip, that's his name, dude. That kid's awesome.
Dude,
I smoked until I started having kids, and then I just didn't want to do it anymore. And now I still, even though I haven't smoked in almost 10 years, and I'll smell a cigarette and be like, God, I want a cigarette so bad. My wife's like, really? I'm like, I don't know, man. It just smells so good. But I did have like
smoking's great, Randall. Smoking's great. The problem is I didn't want to die, so I quit.
No, yeah, the dying part sucks. Like
my dying part really sucks.
my friend Josh, he smokes like menthols all the time, and I had like half a cigarette like maybe a year ago, and I got so nauseous that I was like, why did I ever smoke? Even though I still smell them, and I'm like, oh, it smells so good.
The first time I ever hit a cigarette, it was man, I was in like high school, and my buddy was like, hit this, bro. And he like popped a Camel Crush, and it was like the last hit.
Bro, come on, Camel Crush.
Yeah, and I just like hit it like I would have joined or something. And I was like buzzing my shaft off, dude. I couldn't even imagine that.
I have a very vivid memory of being in high school, maybe like 10th grade. And I like walk outside, and I'm out in like Cypress, Texas, dude. So this is out in like Hickville, dude. And I'm like, all right, I have, back then I was like a super punk rock kid. So I had like patches and shit on. My hair's all dumb looking, and I like look around, and I'm like outside. I'm like, sweet, and I light a cigarette, and then I hear, oh yeah, Mr. Patty, and I was like, oh, and I look over, I'm like, how'd you get here? He's like, I've been waiting for you. I was like, what? And he's like, come with me. I was like, can I finish this? He's like, hurry up. And I was like,
you got
all
2 minutes.
Yeah, basically, so I pop down the cigarette. I go inside, and he goes, well, since you wanted to finish your cigarette, why don't you call your mom? And hands me the phone, made me call her. I was like, bro, that's messed up, dude. But yeah, man, high school was awesome.
Was that your principal just waiting on you?
Yes.
Damn.
He was bro. I was a fun student.
Our high school was pretty relaxed, man.
I wasn't relaxed. My high school was relaxed. It was me that was the problem. I was a psycho in school, bro. I did all kinds of stupid crap, man. I had so much fun in high school, though. Like I would just leave. I would just be in the middle of class and just get up and be like, all right, I got enough of this. I'm just going home. I would just get up and go get my car and drive home. They're like, They're like, "What's this fool doing?" I'm like, "I don't really care." I
was one of those kids with perfect attendance, but on the weekends, man,
weekend warrior.
Yeah, weekend warrior. My senior superlative was party animal. I don't know how. I think it was like a class vote. But
oh man, mine was like, where'd he go? Like I just bounced, bro.
Houdini, bro. Yeah,
man.
Houdini.
So hey, I was listening to a podcast with the director of Malum. Who I almost messed it up again. He said
Malum.
He said, "Bro, you confused me." I was like, "Wait, did I say it wrong?" This was filmed in Kentucky in a I guess an abandoned, for lack of a better word, police station. Okay, first off, they kept talking about how hot it was. Was there no AC in that place?
Well, they had units, they like giant like pipes units that would blow air throughout wherever the scene was. But you step outside of that area, yeah, it got pretty hot. Like Kentucky's hot in the summer, regardless, like Southeast.
I just thought it was interesting that they wouldn't have the electricity on for y'all in there and have the AC running. But I mean, that could cost a lot of money, I guess.
Well, that place is like 100+ years old. I mean, if you look at the tile, all that tile that you see there is like World War II looking tile.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That building might just be like super old. Like
the building was the best like art find you could go for. Like, the art department was like, fuck yeah.
Yes.
I was also hearing that there was a hallway that you guys didn't necessarily want to go down. Is that accurate?
I don't know, man. I explored.
I didn't want to go down any of those hallways.
I'm with you, dude. I'd have been like, I'm good, man. It's real dark down there.
It was like flashbacks to Friday the 13th. You know, I didn't want to go anywhere. That place was creepy.
Oh, I walked around everywhere. I was just like exploring it.
You know what?
I was holding Sam's hand. Please hold my hand, Sam.
I would have probably like explored a little bit, but I have claustrophobia real bad. So Chris, you at least I assume you watched my review because you commented on it. So one of the things that scared me so much about this movie was that open spaces that are dark and quiet and I don't know what's going on scare the crap out of me, man. Like forests and woods and stuff. Nah, bro. Like I'm gonna stay in my house and chill, dude. You go out in the woods and have your fun, my guy. I got taken snipe hunting when I was a kid, bro. They left me out in the dude, that ain't my thing. So that movie scared the crap out of me. I don't know that I would have been like exploring that place if it was real dark.
I feel the same way about oceans. Do you know
how many scary Come on, man. We don't belong there.
No. I've seen too many YouTube videos. To me, like the open ocean is like Malum. It's like scary.
We know more about our own space than we do our own ocean. We know more about space than ocean. That's wild.
I'm telling you, the ocean is scary. That's the ultimate horror show right there. Is the ocean?
You guys should look up a phantom jellyfish. It's beautiful.
I'm more worried about getting swallowed. I'm worried about an orca eating me or a shark, eating my flesh.
First off, that movie Underwater that had old girl from Twilight in it.
Underwater.
Kristen Stewart. It came out like 2-3 years ago. It's called Underwater. It has Kristen Stewart in it. It's basically like Alien, but underwater. It is a fantastic movie and it's terrifying. But my buddy at work was like, "Hey man, I got a boat. You want to go fishing?" And I was like, "On a boat?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "How big's your boat?" And he's like, "It's pretty good size." And I was like, "How far out are you trying to go?" And I said, "Can I see the land from where we're gonna go?" And he's like, "Oh, maybe." And I was like, "No, I'm good, dude. Like, if I can't swim back to where
Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart. If I can't swim back, dude, I'm not trying to go that far out in the water.
I was in the Navy, so that's.
Were you really?
He's done so much shit.
Dude, I thought you were like.
I'm not a kid.
Sam, he was in the Navy. He was a manager for like big star talent. He's been like a CEO of a company. Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
All right, I didn't want to put you on blast, but I have to, bro. How old are you, dude?
53.
What? I thought you were like maybe 35.
No, I'm 53.
You got really good skin, my dude. Like you're winning, bro. You look younger than me. Bro, I got my whole beard's gray.
Doc, can I get another peel? I
got gray shit down the side of my hair, so I keep it shaved short.
I've never had plastic surgery.
It's that Hollywood shit. Whatever they're doing in Hollywood, man. I don't know.
No. It's because it's because I'm chubby. I'm chubby. If it gets saggy, it's just you just gain a few pounds.
It's a tightener. The more weight, it tightens. It tightens.
I sincerely did not think you were in your 50s. That's awesome, man. Good job.
Yeah, I'm 53. Well, when people say, well, you've done so much stuff, and I say, well, I don't have a lot of wrinkles. It's probably hereditary because I'm half East Indian, so I'm half Southeast Asian, half. And so,
I mean, that part of the world has great skin.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be the reason, honestly.
I think I'm just white, so I might be fucked.
Bro, I'm Irish. I'm Irish as Irish gets, dude. Like, I don't want to give people too much information about me, but my mom's maiden name is Irish. My last name is Irish. I bet if I did like a 23andMe, it would just come back a potato. Like, it'd be like,
yeah,
here,
bro.
full, like,
a potato and a shamrock.
Yeah.
Like, that's your coat of arms.
Bro, 100%, dude. Like,
wow.
I mean, that's awesome, dude. So what are you guys doing right now? Are y'all okay? Malum is in the theaters. It's still got, I would assume, at least a few weeks in the theaters, right? Like,
I feel like it's done, man. I tried to look it up the other day.
Really?
Like, I had friends that looked it up and they
it might be because, man, movies come in and out so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to work at a theater, I didn't realize how fast movies come in and out of the theaters. And also,
right,
it would behoove studio to get their movie out of the theater and on VOD or disc when something like Mario is coming out, because I can tell you right now,
for sure,
90% of our screens and showing times are Mario, and it's doing gangbuster numbers because it's freaking Mario. Like, you can't help it. But like, I can guarantee you, I'm gonna be buying multiple copies of this movie to put in my store and have one in my house. I even have the poster from
VHS.
The
VHS. They're coming out on VHS.
What is it really?
They're putting the movie on VHS.
Is it going to be? Is it?
Are they putting it on streaming platforms? I don't know.
Oh, it'll be on streaming for sure. What about? Do you know who's doing the VHS? Is it Witter Entertainment?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
I heard it.
Bro, you're not going to believe this, dude. Like, I collect VHS tapes still, but I only have a certain kind. So there's this company that does like a much more standard, old school, like
those are
like
sick.
Oh, dude, these are like new ones.
What's that one say?
There's Sist and there's Manborg.
Oh, Manborg.
Dude, and these are both like awesome
So
movies,
80s,
bro. And then I have stuff like Witter Entertainment does stuff like this.
Mandy.
Where it's like a clamshell.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, they work. They're made to view. But
I just looked up the show times here in the area, and Malum's still in the theaters. It's in a lot of theaters. So okay. I guess it just depends on where you are. Yeah, they've got it's still playing where we went to the world premiere, Sam. It's still at the Lumiere Music Hall in Beverly Hills. But it's also
LA's got tons of theaters though.
Lots of theaters. So it's still playing at Regal Edwards, Long Beach, Southgate. It's still playing at the AMC theaters. It's at one of the Ontario drive-ins. It's at a drive-in theater.
That's dope. I think this one needs to be seen on a big screen, man. It really does.
I think so as well.
Big screen. Yeah,
but I just want to call a timeout real quick and say that Manborg was originally a 2011 film. I thought it had to be from the 80s, man.
No, bro, that movie's amazing.
Manborg.
It's the same team that brought The Void, which I'll be talking about in a second. It's the same team that did The Void.
And someone just told me to watch The Void. Like,
it's 2 days ago. The Void's in my top 10 movies of all time.
Gotta watch it, man.
And then they also did Psycho Goreman recently. Same guys did Manborg.
I'm just looking at the art right now, and it looks very 80s. Like,
bro, no, it's done on a shoestring budget. It's all green screen. That's
cool as shit.
Bro, I think I even have.
I gotta watch it.
No, it's so good.
Manborg.
It's also on DVD, so you don't have to watch it on VHS. You can watch it on DVD. I'm a dork. I got so much of this crap. Yeah. Oh, so actually, The Void. Malum was really, to me, like an amalgamation of 3 movies. One of which is The Void, Assault on Precinct 13, and Resident Evil.
Yeah, I've heard Resident Evil as well. And The Void is another one. Yeah.
It felt like just like a 3-piece thrown in a blender, man. And so what a question that I specifically wrote down was that something that you guys did intentionally? Or I guess y'all didn't have a whole lot to do with all that part of it, I guess. But what other influences did you bring with you while creating your characters specifically in the movie? Or did you just kind of go in there, read the script, and then develop your characters like kind of as you met each other and as you started doing things on screen? Because a different actor would have made a different character. They can say whatever they want because the director does so much, but the actor is what's bringing it to life. So when you have, if let's say it was Sam and then somebody else instead of Chris, it would have been a different dynamic. And Chris was somebody else instead of Sam, different dynamic. So, was there any kind of preparation you did, or how'd you go about doing that? I don't really know a whole lot about acting. So
you want to go first?
Okay. So I think, I met Chris, he announced himself as CMS, Christopher, whatever.
My
CMS.
initials.
Yeah, CMS. I met him.
I heard that twice in that podcast. They referred to you as CMS.
Mm-hmm.
My rap name.
It just rolls off the
tongue.
Let's go. Bro, if you showed up with a big ass chain and some like giant earrings and a grill, I might have died. I would have laughed so hard.
Yeah,
bro,
with CMS right there. So I met him the day of the first day I came on the set. So it was the first day that we were shooting. So I didn't know what dynamic was going to be thrown at me or any of that. And Anthony is very lax when it came to certain lines, or the whole first scene where we're in the locker room, there are specific lines he wanted me to hit, and then everything else was just like, go say whatever.
Okay.
And it was kind of, I'm more of I love improv. I love to like just play and have some fun.
That's awesome.
And, you give me an inch, I might take a mile. And I think the main part of it all was the fact that I didn't really come in with any expectations. Like I read the script and I knew my character inside and out. And then after that, it's just kind of throw it all away and just see what happens in the moment. And Anthony was very communicative, and he was like just a great at communicating his vision. So he would come up to you and be like, hey, let's do it this way, or don't tell Jessica, but be this, and then try to like really spook her or make her very uncomfortable. And we're not going to say anything. I'm like, all right, cool.
Man, that girl is a great actor too, man.
Mm-hmm.
She's a wonderful actress.
She crushed it.
Yeah.
So for me, I take acting classes. So I'm in class every single week, and I attend Brian Cutler Actor Studio. Brian Cutler was a star of his own right. He was starring in TV shows, and then he has an acting studio. In his golden years, he has an acting studio. And so it's right down the street from me. I go every week. I work with a lot of actors. I'm probably one of the older actors in the class, honestly. And what we learn, first of all, I don't think I really have said this enough times. I'm going to call him JM because I just can't remember how to pronounce his last name. Honestly, Joey, I've never heard your last name pronounced. But without Joey, there would be no Christopher on the movie. I mean, casting directors need to have their own. Joey needs to be like recognized as a very important part of the process, because this person is doing a really high stress job of deciding. Thousands of people are submitting for a job, and
that's a lot of work.
Oh, it's huge.
It's
huge. Like 5,000.
That's the downside of self-tapes. You're now competing against thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah. So like 5,000 people might submit for a job, and Joey has to sort through all that and decides he's going to let the director see me plus a few other people. So without you, Joey, JM, I'm going to call you because I
Montanarello.
Montanarello. So without Joey, there is no opportunity. And then what I liked about working with Anthony is he doesn't have any preconceived way that he expects the actor to perform. Okay. He says, okay, show me what you got. Show me what you're going to do. Just go ahead, do it. Okay, action. He's not sitting there going, okay, well, I want you to step lightly and then do this and then put your hand here. No, he just says, go show me what you got. And so what I learned in Brian Cutler's studio is, don't have any preconceived notion. Total concentration of attention away from yourself, that's on your partner, is the creative source of acting. So, the way I learned how to do this is I don't have this notion. I just listened to Sam talking to me, or Jessica. Sam and I had chemistry. It's like we got on that set, it was fire. He and I were like, we were just like laughing and giggling and carrying on and having a good time. And that was the inspiration for the character. To me, without that chemistry of Sam, Sam doing all these fun things and having a good time with Sam, I don't think those characters would have really come alive. So I didn't have a preconceived notion about what this Officer Hudson should be thinking or doing. I just played off Sam, and I pretended like this is my real partner, and we just came alive.
Well, I don't know. It was funny because whenever I was watching the movie, specifically with Sam, because you were fairly quiet, honestly. Like you're, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of, like I said, it left me wanting more. You know what I'm saying? So, how I'm trying to articulate this thought. Basically, I could kind of tell what was going on with you guys pretty quick, and I liked it. It was fun. It was a fun dynamic. I could see that there was some deception there with especially with Sam and his facial expressions and things, because he was leading the talking the most of the time. He was the one that had the more interactions with what was her name again?
Jessica Sula. Oh, Jessica? Officer Lauren.
Her, yes, Jessica. Jessica's what I was trying to recall. But so yeah, I mean that's a fun time, man. I can't imagine what it's like to be in a situation where I'm given a little bit of freedom to take a character and create it and make it my own and put my own stamp on a film, whether it's 5 minutes or 75 minutes. It's got to be pretty amazing to have. I don't know.
I will say that going into it and while we were filming, I had no notion. Like I didn't know that we were the comedic reliefs. Like there was parts that were funny to me because it was just ridiculous. Like the clapping behind when she's like about to kill herself.
That's
like, this is out there for me, dude. This is out there
totally
for me.
Improv, right?
But I didn't realize that we were going to be the comedic reliefs of this film. And when the first time I watched it, I was like, holy shit, this works. And I think it might have worked. It works even better because I don't think I can only speak for myself. But I didn't know that we're the comedic reliefs. And I think that's why it might have worked so well. CMS, I don't know if you knew or not, but I wasn't registering that way.
No, I did not read that the script meant for us to be funny. And we just naturally are, the two of us together are Laurel and Hardy. It's like we just come to the two of us together. I mean, even Anthony said this at the premiere. He said, you guys have really good chemistry. And I'm like, I see that, right? I really see that we have good chemistry together. So, Sam and I, without spilling the beans, we decided that we're going to continue to try to find ways to collaborate together. We'll keep that on the down low right now. I mean, I don't like to jinx it, but Sam and I are working on stuff together.
That's awesome.
And we also suggested, I mean, I'm not saying that, Anthony has to listen to us, but we've also, I know we both have suggested that perhaps in the sequel, we can come back. I mean, I'm pretty sure you got this, but we're pretty dead already,
right?
Yeah. Dead people can just pop up anywhere.
Yeah, we can just come back anywhere.
I mean, do you guys not remember Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey?
Of course.
Come on, bro.
Never seen it, man.
What, dude? Man,
I haven't seen a lot of stuff.
That's that 28 years old.
Well, I haven't seen a lot of stuff, man. We were talking about underwater. I'm under a rock, bro. So like, I need to do more film study.
What's your favorite kind? Do you have a favorite couple of movies?
Oh man,
it's like asking a metal band, like, what's your favorite metal band? They probably don't have one.
I don't like favorites, Randall. I don't like favorites.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I don't like favorites.
I love so many movies. I cannot even call one my favorite.
I absolutely have a favorite. If you can't see all the shit behind me,
I see.
Terrifier is my favorite movie.
Terrifier.
Okay, Terrifier. I can check it out.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 posters, a 1/6 scale figure, a mask, autographs. Like, I've talked to David Howard Thornton on the show a couple times. Like, that's my favorite movie. But what's funny is I was talking to my coworkers after I watched Malum, and I literally told them, I said, dude, this movie scared the shit out of me, and I haven't been scared in like 20 years. Like,
really?
No. Like, dead serious, not blowing smoke up your behind or nothing, man. Like, I was so shocked at how creeped out I was that, like, I mean, I really enjoyed that movie a lot, man. As soon as I get an opportunity to buy it, I'm gonna buy it.
Anthony edited that film. Before
the director edited it?
Yeah.
Yes. Before I watched that, before I got on set, before I stepped on the set, I read his script twice, and I immediately said, "Oh boy, I made a good decision taking this job because it is so well written." And then I watched Last Shift twice, and I said, "Man, he edited that movie too. He edited
Man,
Last Shift too.
I could have
His editing
sworn
was great.
I could have sworn I had a copy of Last Shift. I've seen it. I like Malum better than Last Shift. I'm not
I
gonna
would
say
say
it's this.
so.
I'm
I
not gonna
agree.
say it's this like wide margin or anything. But if I was to just go, hey, pick one, I'm gonna take Malum over Last Shift. But last night I ordered a copy of Last Shift, excuse me, on Blu-ray. I picked up a couple other things, but I mean, I'm like I'm a nut for this stuff, bro. I immerse myself in specifically horror movies, but yeah, man, it's I watched a movie called One Missed Call from like man, I don't know what year it was. It's a Japanese movie, Takashi Miike.
Oh, I feel like I've seen that, man.
Bro, that movie was insane. And so like I'm on a roll right now with like really great
Oh
horror
yeah,
movies.
dude, I have seen this one. I saw this ages ago. This came out, no wait.
That movie is so good, man. I'm really happy that y'all got to have y'all's movie in the theater.
Thank you.
Because I can tell you right now, had I seen that at home, and y'all can't really see my office very well, you're just seeing a very small corner of it. But I have surround sound in here, and I have a chair that I sit in that's comfortable. It looks like that chair from the Maxim cassette tapes with the guy's hair blowing back. It looks like that, right? It's like a little armchair, and I can turn the volume up. The room's in the corner of the house where it doesn't bother nobody. And so it would have been a good experience. I got a nice setup in here. Man, it doesn't compare to a giant theater screen. So when I watched it, it was at like 11 o'clock on a Wednesday. It was like late at night, bro.
Preview day.
So there wasn't anybody in there. It might have been a
Yeah.
Thursday. It wasn't anybody in there because it was so late at night in the middle of the week, dude. Like I'm in like a place called Cinco Ranch. It's a like upper middle class, like kind of a nice place. Most people have 9 to 5s. On a Wednesday night at 11, there ain't nobody there, bro. So me and one of my coworkers, I had bought a ticket already. I was like, oh hey, if I can get off of work by the time this movie starts, I'm gonna run there and sit down and see it. And so basically, I was able to finish my my duties or whatever and clock out. And I sat down and I was like, all right, man, I hope this is good because if it's not, I'm gonna fall straight asleep. And like, cause I was tired, I worked all day, So I'm sitting there and it starts, and I'm sitting 2 seats over from my coworker. And like we just keep looking at each other, and I was like, "Yeah, bro." I was like, "This movie's badass." And like I felt bad because he was still doing a couple of things, so he had to get up a couple times. But I was like, "Bro, oh man, I don't want to talk about the scene because it'll ruin it for somebody that hasn't seen it yet." But he got up at a very crucial point. I was like, "No," I knew something was fixing to happen too. I was like, "Oh no, I feel so bad that you got up right now." But yeah, I mean, that was one of the more fun.
What was it that really got you though? Like
it was the atmosphere and the music.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was the atmosphere and the music. I already know. It was the atmosphere and the music because I'm sitting there watching this thing and I'm thinking like, okay, if I was in that room where she's at right now, what would I be doing? I'm like getting the hell out of there.
Yeah, no doubt.
And as soon as she had the chains on the doors, I was like, well, that's terrifying. I was like, that's not good. And then there's that old buddy knocking on the door. Bro, so dude's knocking on the door trying to get in, and I was like, I don't care what you're doing. Look, this isn't no disrespect to ladies, but like you're a female, you're by yourself. Like, yeah, you got a gun, but are you prepared to use it? I don't know. Leave the door shut. Because I mean, not only that, but do you really want to shoot somebody? I don't.
Bro,
so,
she was like John Wick status in that.
Bro, she was tough, man. I liked her. Yeah. She was real tough. She was very confident. I liked her. Dude, her story was. I need to watch Last Shift again because I believe it's probably very, very similar as far as their stories. But I felt like I was a little more affected with hers because
I feel it's for watching it.
Did Christopher freeze on us? Is he?
Okay? Yeah, but what a face to freeze on, dude!
Right?
I'm there.
Hello. There he is.
I feel like with
you're good, bro. We can see it's just freezing up. Are you?
Now you're posing like you're in like a GQ magazine.
Now it looks like you're. Not, there it is.
There you go. Wait.
I'm just messing with you. I was just froze.
You're still frozen, but this face is my favorite.
Am I really frozen?
You're coming in. You're good now. You're good. You're back.
Bro, that was so good because I couldn't tell if you were fucking with me, bro. I was like, what is going on right now?
I thought
he is frozen.
Still facing, but I was like, how is he talking?
Dude, that was so good. Oh, man. This is what I love about long-form conversation.
I really enjoyed. I felt like both Jessica Sula and Juliana Harkavy both did phenomenal work, and both of them were great. And so it's tough. They are really different movies, though. Wouldn't you agree?
I
mean, you really
absolutely
are.
don't want to take anything away from Last Shift or the lady that was in it,
They
because
were
that's
very
just not
different
how I
movies.
roll. I was talking about that last night. I was like, man, I look at these because I was very excited to talk to you guys. So I was telling my buddies that I was having y'all on, and I was like, man, it's gonna be a lot
By
of
the way.
fun. And we were talking about this, and I might have typed it on something, or I can't remember who I said it to, but I really do separate the movies, man. Like, oh, I did tell my friends. I said, because my buddy was telling me he has asked them. My girl wants to know if they can explain the movie, and I was like, I don't really understand what wasn't to explain. So I do think it's a very I can understand why somebody wouldn't get the movie, and it's not because just because movies are their art, and art is subjective, and it could mean a number of things. But I definitely
Right.
separate the two. I don't want them to be looked at as competition. I'd rather them be a double feature, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's hard to
Yes,
compare them
yes,
because you
yes.
have one that was done from an experience of a low budget. It had to rely on like the jump scares and the horror of it all, like the real nitty gritty of it all. Because, like you said, horror is like really nice to do on a low budget. You could do a
Yeah.
lot with
You can do a lot
low
with
budget.
little. That's right.
But then Malum, and it's like you got all this money now, and I could see it sparks the interest of like, let me focus more on the story. Let me get down into like the background and like really take this to the next level. And even though I read some article and it was like it wasn't as good as Last Shifts, and I agree with you. It's like you can't really compare the two because they're just
I mean,
totally different. You have
I also think there's something to say about being like edgelordy and being like, oh, I like Last Shift, so I'm not gonna like Malum. It's like you can
yeah,
like both movies, dude. Like, and then also there's another thing that is when a movie's new, people hate on it. 5 years down the road, it's gonna be a cult classic now. It's like, bro, whatever, man. Like, I don't like looking at other reviewers because I don't want to be salty about their opinion, because I think a lot of people say things to just get attention.
yeah, and that's
I
hard to do. It's I gotta have brass balls to remake your own film after it already got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. You got to
you
look at
know,
it like the progression of Anthony DiBlasi, and it's like
Anthony
he did
DeBlasi.
this and then he did this.
Oh, the
It's
director. I'm tripping.
yeah, it's a
Yes.
progression in
I was
his
like, why
work.
do I
It's
know
like,
that name?
yeah, very famous director.
Oh, that's awesome.
Malum.
Oh man, but like, so, yeah, I don't know, man. I definitely like them as separate films, but I'll be honest. It's been a long time since I've seen Last Shift, so when I get it in, I'm gonna watch it. I'll probably end up doing like a retro review on it. Uh, I really like this concept. I was talking to somebody and they were saying like, oh, Malum was cool. It was, damn it, is he frozen again for real?
I think so. I don't hear him talking, so he might be fucking with us. I don't know.
Oh, bro, it's dude.
I'm not.
Thor.
Oh, dude.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you,
We
bro.
can hear you.
It's the
Okay.
video, dude. The video keeps freezing, and you're like mid-word, so you're like, nah, and it's just like,
It's like stop motion. And it's
It's like-
hilarious, dude.
It's,
I'm a real boy.
it's
it's like one of those it's like one of those photo booths. It's just like
Yeah,
pictures of
exactly.
you every couple of seconds. But oh shit, what was I saying? Anyways, man.
I don't know. I lost it.
Yeah, I definitely gonna have to do a retro review on Last Ship. Oh, I was talking to somebody and they were talking about Malum and they were saying, yeah, it was pretty good. It had a few jump scares, and I was like, that's all you got out of it? Like, I was a little disappointed that that's all they got out of it, was that it was pretty good because it had some jump scares. I was like, I mean, it had a couple of jump scares, but I got caught off guard by one, but I was more frightened by the ambiance and the sound, dude. Whoever did the sound in this movie,
Samuel Laflamme,
bro,
crushed
killed it, bro. It was
his droning, man. It was the
Samuel.
droning for me, and it like brought you into this reality, and it was so anxiety ridden. And it's like I feel
that's a great description of it, anxiety ridden.
But I want to ask you a question. Why do you think horror fans and people that go to watch specifically a horror film, why do you think do you think it's multiple reasons, or do you think like most of them have a certain reason for going to watch horror?
So
like, yeah, from being a horror advocate and lover like you are. Like,
I'm a horror lifelong fan.
Mhm.
My first nightmare was from Beetlejuice when I was a little bitty kid.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, dude.
I'll say it 3 times, bro.
Bro, lifelong fan of this genre. I have my whole house devoted to it. My whole store. Everything I do, I only watch horror movies. I don't really watch anything else, man. I think that there is a large differential in the reasoning behind why you'd go see a horror movie. I think some people go to get scared. Some people go because they like the aesthetics. Some people go because their friends are going. I think that if you picked out 15 people at a premiere, you'd get 15 different reasons why. But I do think everybody loves getting scared. I think everybody loves it. Like, okay, let's go into a horror movie. My wife is not a fan of being scared, but I love it. My son, he's 9, and we've just discovered he likes scary movies. We've watched Insidious together, and he freaking loved it.
That's intense for a 9-year-old.
At 9, bro, he's like, that was awesome. I'm like, you're awesome, bro. High five. Like, that's my guy. That's my guy, dude. And so we're watching scary movies, and I'm gonna have him watch this one when it comes out on VOD or whatever, because at least at home we can just stop it if he's getting too scared or whatever, right? But he's a tough kid, man. He's real smart too, so I'm real proud of him. But I think if you asked 15, 20, 30, 40 people, you'd get all those different answers. I don't think there is one reason why, other than the camaraderie that you feel when you're in a theater with 50, 70, 100 people and you're all getting the crap scared out of you. There's a camaraderie there. There's a like last night I'm watching that One Missed Call of my best friends, dude. Shout out to Chris, who wasn't able to be there because he had to travel. But my other 2 best friends, man, there's a 4 of us, man. Core 4. Anyways, like we they're gonna be like, this dumbass. We're hanging out watching this movie and we're getting scared together, man. Like it's like name another movie where you'd want to be with your friends more than if you were trapped in a horror movie. There isn't one, man. Now, comedies aren't as cool as horror movies. They're fun, but like horror movies are badass. And like look at the bad guys. Where's the bad guy cooler than a horror movie? Maybe Batman. Maybe Batman because the Joker's rad. But like,
true.
But like Michael Myers, dude, Art the Clown, Freddy Krueger, dude. Like, I mean,
that's a great point, man. There is no villain like
where's the antagonist cooler than a horror movie? Miss Doubtfire, that's the cool antagonist. No, come on, bro, that's Pierce Brosnan. No, dude, I'm talking about Freddy and Krueger, dude. Like that was my first foray into like real horror.
Mine was It. I was on a vacation. I was 8 years old, and we were in Florida on a summer vacation. They had like HBO or whatever showing It, and they just left it on. My parents left it on the TV, and that's what was showing at the time.
Smart.
I sat down, and I said, well, I don't think they even knew it. They were at the beach. I sat down, and I was like, let's see, what is this? And I got it was the shower scene where he comes through the drain and all that shit. And I was like this in the shower when I had to wash my hair. Like I couldn't close my eyes in the shower for 3 years. Like I didn't I never had the curtains pulled after I saw The Shining.
Just water sprayed out of the shower. You're like, I'm sorry, Mom. I'll put a towel down.
I'm talking about like when I'm done with the bathroom, she would always throw the shower curtain.
Like just taking a shower with no curtain up.
She's like interior designer, so she always had to have that thing like closed and whatnot. And I always opened it. She's like, who keeps opening the door? And I just like, because there's something back there, man.
To this day, I watch so many horror movies. To this day, bro. I'll be in the shower and if I don't have music on and it's like at all quiet, I'm like, da 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 da. What the hell was that? What was that? I'm 41 years old. Why am I still getting creeped out in a damn shower?
Because your life is horror movies, man.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty fun. Chris, what was your first horror movie? Did you talk about it earlier? Your first one?
1980, Friday the 13th. I remember
that's what it was.
Like it was yesterday.
Did it give you nightmares? Did it scare you, or did it just amp you up?
Yes, I couldn't go to bed for weeks. I had to have the lights on for weeks.
I think that's a beautiful thing about horror films. Do you think everyone remembers their first horror film? You're like, oh, I remember it like it was yesterday.
Anybody worth the shit? If you don't remember your first horror film,
no, I'm wrong. No. I'm wrong, Randall. I'm wrong. My favorite first horror film, and now I've got a favorite. I said not going to do favorites. 1979 Alien.
Oh,
the greatest horror movie of all time.
Good shit, bro. Like, good shit.
I was like, oh my God, that movie was intense.
So there's a bunch of horror movies that I didn't even used to like that are like some of my favorites now. The Thing, didn't used to like it. Evil Dead, didn't used to like it. My best friend Josh, man, those are ones that he really loves that I watched again so that I could talk with him about it and was like, oh, I don't know what I was misunderstanding. It's on me. Something was going on that I wasn't getting those movies. I'm much more of a B movie slasher kind of guy, but those are great movies, man. And something this is gonna piss some people off probably, but I don't like Friday the 13th. I think that's a terrible franchise, right? But I will stand behind the fact that the last scene of that movie is probably one of the all-time best jump scares, because if you don't know what's coming, that shit will scare anybody. When she's sitting in that boat and she's like, oh, and you're like, oh, it's done. Comes out and grabs her. Nah, bro, that was a great. That's like one of the original jump scares, man. That shit was awesome.
Yeah,
they patented jump scares with that film. I always felt like Alien was the greatest horror film of all time. And don't laugh, I feel like Aliens is the greatest action film I've ever seen. I mean, these were two movies that are completely different in my mind. Even though they're about the same storyline, it's a continuation in Aliens, but I always saw Aliens as being like an action film.
Okay, here's an interesting question for you, both of y'all. I want to know both of y'all's opinion on this, please. How do you feel about, in my horror section, I have Predator, I have Terminator, and I have Jurassic Park. All three of those are horror movies.
I mean, it could be considered horror because people could be afraid of the future and technology such as the Terminator. Dinosaurs coming back and being real. I can see people being terribly afraid of that.
It's a bunch of monsters chasing kids around. How's that not a horror movie?
Yeah. But to me, that's like action adventure kind of thing.
For sure. A lot of stuff crosses over, man, because like Scary Movie is almost the same movie as Scream. It's damn sure a horror movie, but it's still a comedy.
It's hard to make good movies.
That's a good point.
You know, a lot of critics don't know this because they don't work behind the scenes like we do. I mean, it's a very slow process to make a project, right? We're sitting there for a whole day working on 2 pages of a script.
That's
we literally sit around the whole day and work on 2-3 pages, right?
I've sat around for 8 hours to film an hour.
Yeah,
that's wild.
It's very, very hard to make a good movie. Very hard. You have to be very talented as director, editor, all these different people, the writers, the actors. It's a serendipitous moment. And you know, a lot of actors have said this, and I've heard this before. You know, it's very, very it can be very boring to be on a set. That's why it takes a certain patience to be an actor. It's never to be underestimated how much patience there is in being an actor, because you might sit around all day. I worked an entire day this week, and I got like maybe 5 minutes in front of the camera, and I had to be there the whole day. And so
that is kind of crazy.
It is,
but
crazy,
it's the way. But it's the way our
wild.
business works.
Do you guys?
So my point is that what I was going to say is, when you get a good outcome, it's because it's a lot of thinking, working, figuring it out. Everybody's got to be on deck. Everybody's got to be on their A game. And so when you were talking about these movies, the thing I felt about Predator is like a magnum opus movie. I mean, it's so well done, and the anticipation and the way the camera's moving and how he follows the performers, and you know, all of this stuff is really well done. No offense to anybody on the sequels, but they were not anywhere nearly as exciting to me as watching Predator. And I've watched that movie many times, and I love science fiction, but I do feel like it's a horror film. I do feel like
it's a slasher.
They really bring that anticipation, but I don't feel like the sequels were that scary. No,
I do think that the sequels could be set on my action shelf, but like, I think that I was arguing with somebody. I guess, kind of arguing that
debating,
Predator's more of a slasher film than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
For sure, yeah, for sure. It is a slasher film for sure.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is not a slasher.
Great movie.
And like we were talking,
why would you say that? Why would you say that?
A slasher is where the villain hunts them down, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre doesn't do that. They show up to his property and he just kills them.
Very different. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you call that? Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre? What
scary as shit. I don't know, man. It's more of like a excuse me, like a grindhouse film to me. It's like just a horror film. Like slashers are very specific. Scream would be a slasher. Friday the 13th, I don't really consider
Fear
a
Street.
slasher.
Fear
Street. Dude, I watched which one were you in?
The second one.
I watched all those. I need to go back and watch that one.
I was the long-haired kid, Arnie, in the second one.
Dude, so you had long hair. Okay, because I was trying to recall what you were doing in that movie, and I was like,
long hair down
that's
to here.
awesome.
It's like so Sam's a chameleon. Honestly, have you ever seen his different projects? He's a chameleon. He never looks the same in two projects.
That's amazing.
He's
I mean, that's the way.
He's always different in every project.
Unless you're somebody
Yeah,
like
it's a
Leonardo
lot of-
DiCaprio that depends on that specific look and that specific face and that specific glass rays, dude, you may as well be a chameleon. You can get way more roles that way, I would think.
Yeah, a lot of plastic surgery, a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, for a second, I was like, really? Wait, what am I talking about? What do you guys have going on right now? You got anything coming up that you're interested in talking about?
CMS, take it away.
I'm auditioning and working on jobs all the time, and this is the tough part about our business. We have to sign these documents that say we aren't going to talk about it.
Oh yeah,
released.
NDA stuff, huh?
It is. We are not allowed to talk about it until it's released. But I can tell you, I worked for Google 4 times. I did 4 different projects with Google. I don't know if I'm allowed to say any details about the commercial, but I did a commercial with WNBA players, a group of WNBA players. And what was interesting about doing this Google commercial is that they don't necessarily have you booked for a specific plan. Like, these are free flowing ideas. A lot of times the director calls you in, they have a general idea what they want to do, they have a storyboard, they have all this stuff, and it's a big pile of paper that they've got pictures and they know what their plans are. But when you get on the set, the first assistant director says, does anyone here know how to dance? And I'm the worst. Honestly, I feel like I'm the worst dancer. So I immediately go, ooh, that's me. I can dance. And of course, because I'm kind of a comedic relief kind of guy, I always view myself as get out of my comfort zone. So immediately he says, okay, what's your name, Spencer? Okay, you're going to be dancing with, the main WNBA player. I'm not going to mention names because it hasn't been released yet. So immediately I went from just being in the commercial to dancing in front of the camera with the star. And I was thinking to myself,
hell no, I'd be like, I don't want to be dancing in front of nobody.
A lot of actors, I know it was embarrassing, but a lot of actors, and I don't get embarrassed that easily, but a lot of actors ask me, well, how do you get all these opportunities? And I say, look, when I was on the set with Anthony, I said, Anthony wrote me a nice email. He probably wrote everybody and said, if you have any questions or anything, let us, let me know. No, I'm sure he emailed you, Sam, and he said, no. He says,
maybe.
So he says, if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. And I immediately said, well, could I get more lines? And, I thought maybe I could get maybe he would be like, that was a little forward of you to ask for more lines. No, he immediately said, well, let's see what we can do. So he started.
Hey, you don't ask, you don't get.
You don't ask, you get nothing.
Closed mouths don't get fed, homie.
Yeah. So he gave me more lines. He said, here, memorize this. And he gave me a little thing to memorize. He said, memorize this. Man. And when I was on the set, I was like, God, this is a great director. Anthony's a really generous guy. And he gave me extra lines, and he gave me and Sam a whole nother scene together, which is the closing of the film. You remember where we close out the film?
Yeah.
That's not in the script. That was just
awesome.
Sam.
You know
he
what?
Just said, hey, you guys go do some stuff here at the end. Just improv some stuff at the end and just blow it up. And we did. We blew it up at the end with just before Jessica passed away.
I would think that.
Well, her character, not her.
Yeah. Well,
no, she's no longer with us. She's gonna not ever start another film again, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Rest in peace.
Man, I would love to talk to her. She's so rad. She was so good. Like,
she was excellent.
I'll reach out to somebody, I guess, to see if I can hit them up on this. I don't know. I don't even know how I managed to talk to people. It's just a weird thing, but I would think that depending on the director, there's probably a lot of different kinds of directors. I don't know how many y'all have worked with, but I would imagine that I might be remembering this incorrectly, but I think Scorsese's very particular about like word for word, like stay, do not veer off of my script.
He will fire me in a minute.
You know what I'm saying? And like, so like, it must be pretty awesome. Now, it'd be pretty awesome to work with Scorsese. Let's not be ridiculous here, but it must be pretty cool to get with a director who is like, hey man, here's where you guys are like scheduled to be, but here's where I'm going to let y'all be. Just hang out in this area somewhere and we'll get you what you need. and here's some freedom. Here's a little bit of rope. Don't hang yourself with it, but you got you some leeway, and that's got to be pretty awesome.
It's really it's a very freeing feeling as well, because then you just kind of can play and be present, and you're not really, the boundaries are pretty limitless at that point. There's obviously boundaries, but at the same time, it also gives the editor a lot of different takes to work with. As long as like physically you're staying pretty okay on continuity wise, like physically and what you're doing with your actions, then you can really start to play with like what comes out, and like
that's something that, being on my end of the camera, which is on his couch watching it, I would have never even considered that. If you have more freedom, you'll give the editor more to work with. That is an excellent point.
Well, you're giving them different takes, different everything.
Yeah, in acting class, when I'm in acting class, Brian Cutler says, don't do 2 takes the same, and he says each take should be different, because that gives the director and the editor some choice, like choices of things they can bring in. So if the director ever says, hey, go ahead, you want to do something else, I always say yes. I mean, you never want to say, as an actor, it's a golden moment when the director says,
you don't want to say no. Then you're like the guy.
Many people like, no, I'm happy with that take. No, I'm perfectly happy with that take. I'm done. No, I would always jump in and say, okay, I'll try something else. You might do that whole moment completely the opposite of the way you did it.
Yeah.
And that might bring something else to the opportunity for the editor to put something else together, because you never know what it's going to look like when they're in the editing booth, right?
Right. Well, so here's a question for you. I know y'all probably have things to do today. I won't keep you much longer, but specifically for you, Chris, because I don't know, Sam, if you're doing any acting classes, but my question is this, and it's just coming from somebody that just doesn't know, but since you're already working and you're already getting jobs, I understand that part of the answer is probably like, well, you can learn, but like, what would make you want to continue to take acting classes when you're already getting jobs and stuff? Because I know that experience matters, right? But I feel like you get experience on the job, kind of. How are you benefiting from your acting classes right now?
I'm in a scene study class, and
are you?
Yeah. We do like we'll have 2 people, and we'll do a scene from either a play or a film or a TV show or whatever. But just because, like, let's say I get drafted, I go pro. And just because I'm pro, it doesn't mean I'm going to stop hitting the gym.
You still go to the gym. What I mean? That's exactly right.
Yeah, you got to do spring training. You keep doing spring training. So to answer your question on my answer today, because everything's subject to change. My future is unknown. My future's unknown. I am specifically accepting all the invitations from my fellow classmates when they say, would you like to have lunch? Could I talk to you about what you're doing, how you're handling your career, how you get auditions, how you do these different things? And I always say, sure, I have a meeting this evening with one of my fellow actors. I had a meeting last night with one of my classmates, and there was a brand new kid. He just did Dave. He got upgraded to like an on-camera principal from background, and we actually worked on an episode together of Dave. And he's 20 years old. He's just getting started, and he's struggling, trying to figure out his compass. And so it helps me to feel a sense of purpose in sending the elevator down. But then also, these are actors I get to work with. I get to work with them. I get to improve myself. I get better.
Yeah, that was probably a really dumb question.
No, it's not a dumb question.
No, it's not dumb.
No, it's not a dumb question.
It's real though, because there are people that don't go to class and stuff.
You wouldn't know. You're not. This isn't your.
Yeah, that's very foreign to me. I don't.
But no, makes sense because you wouldn't know because it's not your chosen profession to be an actor, and it's a very reasonable question. You would say, well, you've already got jobs. Why do you need to keep acting classes going? And I always tell folks, you need acting classes even more when you're working, because you got to keep constantly improving your memorization.
Sure.
You have to improve. I was terrible with memorization. I mean, in the beginning, I could memorize anything.
With it.
It was really hard in the beginning. Really hard.
Yeah, it's also great to work with a variety of different people from all walks of life, because the more people you're working with, and however different they are, and whatever background or whatever they're bringing to the table or to the scene, right. It allows you to be really diverse as far as working with different energies, working with different people, and it makes you really quick on your feet, makes you really sharp. And so
I agree.
I think that's
So I think I'll be in acting classes for as long as I can.
That's awesome.
You know.
Well, it's something like it's funny how I would have thought that I would say something like this in reference to what we're talking about. But my mom always told me when I was young, man, you're getting in trouble and blah blah blah. You're gonna adopt the behaviors of the people that you're around.
Yeah.
That goes on both directions. So if you're around a bunch of people that are practicing, because you're honing your craft, you're still perfection doesn't exist in that field. I don't think that Leonardo DiCaprio is perfect. I don't think Matthew McConaughey is perfect. Brad Pitt's not perfect. Well, maybe physically, but like you know what I'm saying? No, but like nobody's perfect, dude. Meryl Streep is not perfect. Like none of them. So if you don't practice, I guess you will just kind of
That's my favorite part about acting is that like you can be a master at acting, but there's no ceiling.
Yeah.
Because the more life you live, the more you're going to be able to bring into acting, and the more your life continues, the better you're going to be, hopefully. And there's no like, hey, I reached it. I'm a master actor, and this is as far as I can go. You can always go deeper and deeper and deeper and get better and better and better.
I even feel like that way in my world, which would be YouTube creator. I constantly try to learn how to edit a little bit better, how to ask better questions. This is probably the first time I've talked to somebody that I wrote something down beforehand. I do like organic conversation, but it does make sense to have some bullet points to just kind of like, hey, make sure we hit these four or five questions, so that way that also creates conversation. And I'm trying to grow too with how I approach doing a music review. Man, I used to be okay with like antagonizing people. I would say things that I knew was going to piss off the audience because it was going to get interactions and blah, blah. Man, I'm not trying to be that guy, dude. I'm not trying to be like, if I don't like something, I can say it in a polite way. I can still be like, yeah, it's not really my thing, man. Objectively well made, not for me, and instead of being like, yeah, this sucks. Like, and it's okay. And there's still something, if you want to say something sucks, you're entitled to say so. And I'm certainly not perfect. I've still done it, but like I try to.
You're not perfect.
Improve.
You sure seem perfect to me,
bro. Let's go. But it's a growing. There's always room for growth, man. You guys have been super awesome and very generous with your time. Is there anything that you want to talk about before we get out of here?
I just want to thank some people. Every time.
Hell yeah, bring it on, dude.
I'd like to thank some people. First of all, I want to thank my mother, who's in heaven, for being.
I almost said your mom as a joke.
I want to thank my mother, who's in heaven, that she really was very supportive of my acting career. She always was supportive of everything I ever wanted to do. I've got to thank my agents. Believe it or not, I have multiple agents, and they all are working overtime to try and get jobs. I love working with my agents. They're really very dedicated. I have to thank, Joey for getting me the opportunity with Anthony. I want to thank Anthony. And, all those cast and crew on Malum, they were amazing. They really spoiled me on the set. I can only speak for myself. And they all spoiled me on the set. I felt very spoiled. I had a big dressing room.
They treated me like shit.
Let's go.
So, I just want to thank all those people. And I want to thank Brian Cutler for really making acting possible, because without an acting teacher, I don't feel like I would be this guy. I mean, I have that inhibition that I've, gotten my comfort zone, because I'm not ever going to be comfortable, honestly. I mean, it's a nonstop state of being an actor. You're worried about your next job, and being unemployed is one of the worst things about being an actor, is being unemployed. So I'm always grateful for the agents getting auditions. So I just have to thank all those people. And here's the big one. I want to thank this guy right here, Sam.
Bro, I'm on the other side of the screen.
Oh, I want to I want to thank this guy over here.
I almost said it without laughing, dude. I was trying to say it real serious.
You're the last but not least,
Oh man.
I want to thank Sam for making it exciting and lighting it up on screen. And thanks, Randall, for having us on the show.
Hell yeah, thank you guys. Man, you're a sweetheart of a guy, man. That's amazing. Sam, anybody you want to thank? Anything you want to talk about?
Nah, no, I'm just kidding.
Let's go. My man Sam. Okay, bro, I'm out.
Randall, man, I appreciate this, dude. It was so much fun. Like-minded people talking about it. Everybody that supported Malum, it blows my mind. It's so beautiful to see like the community and how many people love horror film, and and I'm still learning about the genre myself. So it's just like a great experience. Everybody that worked on Malum, that made that story come to life, is beautiful. And if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram at Story of Sam Brooks. CMS is at Born to Deal. If y'all want to follow him,
I'll put the links in the description
for sure.
And if I can remember, I'll put it in a pinned comment too.
Other than that, y'all have a beautiful day. Thank y'all for your time. Thank you for listening to us, goofy ass motherfuckers. I appreciate it. Randall, again, you're a G, bro. I hope we stay in touch.
Man. Appreciate it. Hey, real quick before you go, I have an idea. So I just, you can feel free to say no. If I send, do y'all have P.O. boxes, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. If I can get y'all's information from you to send a P.O. box, can I send the poster to each one of y'all to sign it?
Yes.
Yes.
Come on.
I'll give it away on my channel to somebody that watches the channel. I don't have room for it on my wall. I'll happily give that to somebody that just likes the movie, man. I'll give it to somebody for free. Like, I'll ship it to somebody. Hell yeah, bro.
That's awesome. I love that idea.
Yeah, dude.
I think that's a terrific idea. If anybody wants to write to me, I'm not famous yet.
Let's go. My man said, yeah, bro.
Me,
I'm coming. Let's go.
So if you want to write to me, I have a P.O. Box 6789. You'll never forget that number.
That is 6789.
It is Burbank, California 91510. So feel free to write.
Excuse me. Any of that stuff I could put in the description.
Absolutely.
For sure, man. So the person that I emailed to get in touch with you guys is who I'll email to get the P.O. boxes, and then I'll ship it out next week.
Right.
And I'll just send it to one of y'all, and then I'll get it back, and I'll send it to one of y'all. And I'll include postage to get it back to me.
My dumb ass was like 6, 7, 8, 9. Why would nobody why would someone not?
He's like,
that's my P.O. box.
He's like, actually, that's real easy to forget. I don't ever count, bro.
I was like, dude, why is that so unforgettable? Anyways, that's good stuff.
Man, you guys are awesome. Malum is an excellent film. I'm really happy to talk to you guys. Sincerely appreciate your time, man. Like, this is like my dream come true, man. Bucket list shit, getting cool people to talk, and it don't matter what you think your level of fame is. You're somebody that's important to me. So thank you so much for your time. Everybody that's watching this, man, if you made it this far, you're awesome. I thank you. I appreciate you. Don't forget, on 31 TV, Horror Hangout, it's an open door policy. If you're struggling with addiction or depression, or your boss is shitty, your girlfriend's shitty, your boy, whatever, man, you can hit me up. My Instagram email is in the description, and I've never turned anybody away. So holler at your boy. We'll see you later. I'll catch you on the next Horror Hangout. Peace.
Dude, that sounds dope.
That is a
what is that? Is that something you created?
I do that every video.
No, like with the last part you said, it was like if you have addiction, if you have
no, I do that on there. I say that on every video.
Yeah, but is that like that thing you started? Is this about?
Oh yeah, no, that's me. That's all me. I do it 100%.
Dude, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, July will be 10 years off opioids, and I used to have like a real bad problem with heroin, and I did a lot of like real shady stuff. I was a criminal, man. I was a bad motherfucker, bro. And I don't do that stuff.
Well, yesterday ended at midnight, Randall.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think about the past unless it's something I have to think about. But like, man, so you want to hear how it started? It's crazy, bro. It'll blow your mind. So I started doing music reactions, right? Like just kind of to do them.
Mm-hmm.
And I got these kids that were real young that were like, "Oh, you like punk rock stuff? Do you like emo?" And I'm like, yeah, well, sure, some of it, you know. And they're like, "Hey, have you ever heard this dude Lil Peep?" And I'm like, "That's a dumbass name." I'm like, "That sounds so stupid." But I'm like, "Wait a minute, I'm being an old head, bro." I'm like, "Yeah, throw it at me, dude." And so I listened to this dude Lil Peep, and I listened to this dude named Juice WRLD, and I find out that they're both dead. And I'm like, "Oh, this is terribly sad, man." And then I'm like, "How'd they die?" And then they're both of them drugs. And I'm like, "Oh my God, what kind of drugs? Opioids. Oh my God, that's me." And I'm like, "Whoa." So then I start telling people like, so I was like, "Hey guys, I can't cover this music on my channel, man. I just can't support this kind of lyrical content. It's just, it's giving me like bad dreams, bro. Like I can't do it." And then I was like, wait a minute. These kids, they were pissed off. They were like, "Dude, that's so stupid. You're being an old head. You're being whatever, man. They're calling me corny and shit, right?" That wasn't bothering me. But what was bothering me was I was like, I can find a way to make this positive, dude. And my wife actually said, "Well, why don't you just tell him like, hey, you'll talk to him if you need some help. That way you don't have to, it's clear you're not supporting addiction." And I was like, "Yo, that might work."
That's
so
amazing.
I said it in one video, and then nothing really happened. And so then the next video, I was like, "Hey guys, just so y'all know, I don't really support the, Percocets. Like that's not my thing, dude. Like Xanax is dangerous.
Right.
I've lost 8 friends because of Xanax, bro. 8.
It's
dude.
very habit forming.
A lot of people don't even have 8 friends, bro.
Yeah, I lost a cousin.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's shit scary, dude. And so I just said it a few times, and then one day I woke up and I had like 3 messages on Instagram from 3 different people, and they were like, "Hey, man, you said you'd talk to us if," and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man? What's your question?" And they're like, "Hey, how do I try to do this? First off, how old are you? Oh, you're 15. Well, my first advice would be to go talk to your folks, but I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. So, like, if you got questions, like, hit me up, bro. I got you, dog." And so, like, that's what they would do. They talk to me, right? And then like every single day of my life now, I wake up and there's messages or emails, and I talk to kids for like I told you when you first got on, Christopher, that I don't really get up this early and do stuff like this.
Yes,
it's because I get up at 9 o'clock. Well,
Right.
not only that, but I get up at 9 o'clock, and then until like 10, I'm usually talking to people. Like, I don't do work stuff. I do that. I mean, I guess it's technically it's work, but like
you're counseling, yeah.
I don't get paid for it. I don't have,
Yeah.
and I don't want any kind of like recognition. Like, that's not what I do it for. I say it at the end of the video on purpose. So if you get to that point and you need to talk, sometimes I'll say it at the beginning occasionally if it's like content I know needs to be said at the beginning. You know, if it's a song about drugs or something, I'll say, "Hey, just so you know." But like, and it doesn't make me any better than anybody. It just makes me feel better. It makes me
Right,
like,
but
okay.
you just said you don't want any recognition, and I think that's I have to challenge you on that, because if you don't get recognition, how are you going to spread the good word? You know, it's good that you
That's
get
true.
recognition. You need that recognition because
well, I
if
don't
you're
want
gonna
it. I'll
help
take
people,
it if it comes, but I'm not going to ask for it. I'm not going to beg for it. I don't want fame.
But when you're doing stuff out of the kindness of your heart and you're helping people and you're doing it just because you want to do good things, it's very important to evangelize that good work you're doing.
So,
I believe you should evangelize it.
A lot of people, myself included, grew up without a dad, right? And
Yes.
like my dad was like I said, my dad was a chef or whatever, had a cookbook. Well, I didn't really even know my dad, bro. Like, I moved in with him in November of 1998. He died in January of 1999. So like I barely knew my dad. And so what I've figured out is that the thing that I'm the best at in this world isn't YouTube, it's not movies, it's not music. The thing I'm the best at is being a dad, bro. Like, my kids are the shit, bro. Like, as a matter of fact, hey, Bricken, come here, Bubba.
He's like outside the door. He's like, yeah.
No, his room's. Come here. You want to say hi to somebody?
Sure.
These are 2 of my new friends, man. This
What's
is my
up,
son.
Bricken?
This is my son, Bricken. Here, they said hello. Can you hear him?
Hey, Bricken, how are you?
What's up?
He's
How
turning
are
10
you?
in May, but this is my oldest. He's
Oh wait, when's his birthday?
May the 6th, right?
Yes.
I almost forgot.
Mine's the 25th.
His is May 25th.
I'm a May baby.
Wait.
Oh yeah. We have the same fucking birthday.
Wait, is your
I
birthday
keep
the 25th
forgetting.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Whoa,
birthday's
their
May
birthdays
25th.
both May 25th.
Cool.
These guys, okay, remember that movie I told you I
This
wanted
is
you to watch
crazy.
called Malum?
Yes.
These guys are in that movie. Let's go. All right, dude. I just wanted you to say hello. I love
See you,
bud.
Bricken.
Bye, Bricken.
That's my guy, dude. Like, so like I figured out that I was really good at that. Like, I'm really good at being a
Good
dad.
for
Like,
you.
I'm a good ass dad. And like, so a lot of these kids, they need an uncle and they need a dad. They need somebody around to just listen to them that's not going to tell them they're a piece of shit. And so that's what I do. And I've had to tell some kids some like pretty, I guess, sobering things where you're like, nah, you're being an idiot, dude. You can't do this. Like, if you're gonna stop. I've had kids tell me like, hey man, I don't really want to stop doing drugs. I just want to slow down. Hey, you got any recommendations on how to do that? I'm like, yeah, stop. Like, stop. How old are you? 15? You're taking Percocets to school, dude. You're gonna be a junkie by the time you're 20. How do you know? Because I was. Like, what do you mean? How do I know? Have you not listened to anything that I've said on my channel? And so that's really what it is, man. I like being 41, man. I like being helpful, and I like being curmudgeony, bro. Like, it is what it is, bro. I like being me. I have fun being me. I'm very much an acquired taste. I'm abrasive and I'm loud. I talk too much, but like,
it's America.
Dude, oh fucking well, you don't like it, don't hang out with me, bro.
It's
like,
America.
It is what it is.
I mean,
like,
I'm a huge cut. You know, I have a very conservative nature. I'm very conservative. I grew up in a Muslim family. Keep that in mind.
Did you really?
I did.
Oh wow.
I did. I mean,
Bro,
no pork, no cussing.
That
nothing.
sucks, but pork is delicious.
So
pork
I
is
eat
delicious.
bacon now.
Bro, bacon's so fire.
Love bacon.
Oh, sorry, little piggy. Quack.
But I'll tell you something. I am a huge constitutionalist. Huge.
Yeah.
I am so First Amendment all the way. Hey,
dude,
if you don't hit me, if you're not going to hit me, just don't hit me. Don't take my money. You're fine. If you do whatever you want to do, just don't pick my pocket and don't smash my face.
Don't pick my pocket. Please don't do that. Here's a question, dude. This is so off topic of like horror movie talk. Have you guys heard of amendment auditors?
No, I haven't.
Dude, here's a rabbit hole that you're gonna fucking hate me for getting you into, but it is so entertaining. There's this group of people, they call themselves auditors. They literally get like GoPros and shit, and they go start shit with police. And they call it auditing. They'll go do things to intentionally antagonize the cops to see if the cops are going to know how to react the right way. And they'll be like, they'll go film at like a police station. So get the police outside, and they're like, oh, I can do it. I'm legally allowed to. And it's like, man, just because you're legally allowed to do something doesn't mean you should do it. And you're like, you're antagonizing these guys and then calling them assholes.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting. You just said you're like an amendment, like what'd you call it?
Constitutionalist.
Constitutionalist, dude. Yeah. It's wild. These people that they want to just they're auditors. They go out and it's just a whole subculture of people that do this. It's so fucking crazy.
Yeah, let me just say this: if you ever get pulled over, put your hands on the steering wheel. I mean,
dude,
you don't want to get shot.
These guys will talk shit to the, and I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like, oh man, it's wild.
Yeah, they deal with that day in and day out.
The world is a crazy place.
They have to deal with getting shot at. There's a lot of dangerous people in the world, and police deal with them every day. And you just want to put that in perspective.
Look, man, I when I was younger, I was avid. I was so anti-police. I mean, just think about the kind of person I was. You know, blue mohawk and shit. Like, and I'm still like, I'll be real honest, dude. I don't trust the police. I don't talk to them. When I live in Houston, bro. Police out here are fucked up, man. They're mean people. I've been handcuffed to a chain link fence and had the shit beat out of me by HPD. Like, that is real. That happened. So I have a lot of like trust issues, right? But give me a break, dude. The first thing you do when you're scared is call the police. Like, don't act like we don't need them. Like, don't act like all of them are bad. Don't act like come on, man. People just don't want to admit whenever, like, everybody loves the sensationalized stuff. It's scary, man. The world's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah, I've met some bad eggs out there as far as people, but I love people.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's like,
people, they're bad eggs everywhere.
Everybody's an individual. I just treat everybody as an individual. I don't look at.
If you don't do that and you use, that's prejudice, isn't it?
On their own. You have to look at everybody based on their conduct, and I don't look at people as a group. Of course, you dial 911 when you're in trouble, but
absolutely,
I don't look at a group of people and say everybody. No broad brushes. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I'm necessarily proud of. It's just the way that based on my experiences in my life, this is just the way that I think now. But I mean, I don't like, if I'm driving down the road and I see a cop, I mean, if they look at me, I'll wave. I'm not like an asshole. Like you know what I'm saying? But it's a weird dynamic that we have with law enforcement these days. Like I just think it's a scary time, man. And I don't.
We may have trouble attracting and keeping officers that are good because
they don't get paid enough.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's in Burbank. We have
at least HPD. I know a couple of them.
I feel like in Burbank the pay is reasonably good. I'm just saying that you may have difficulty if somebody is not enjoying their job and people are mean to them all the time.
Oh, that's true too.
Why would you want to work in a job where nobody wants to have you? So we may have trouble attracting good people.
Could you imagine being a teacher right now? Like the way that kids behave, like they're not, like you can't even tell them to sit down. Like,
Randall, that's a whole nother conversation. I feel like the future of education is going to be AI, but I've been saying that for years.
Oh, that's a large possibility, actually.
I mean, it's so expensive. Well, in California, 40% of our the state taxes go to education. I think it's just a foregone conclusion that they have to figure out a way to do it more efficiently.
Damn, that's
crazy. They won't even need actors, man.
Nope.
No, they'll need you, Sam. There's no computer can mimic Sam.
There'll be an AI image of me out there.
No,
dude,
no way. Sam,
can you imagine if all
priceless.
movies were cartoon and it was like AI voiced?
That'd be wild. That would be wild.
I am Officer Hudson.
That would suck so bad if it was all like.
Well, it could be like you've seen those videos where people like AI generates famous people's faces, and you're just
and voices not real. Like, they're so fake looking.
No,
I've seen some real ones. Man. I saw one of Morgan Freeman. I was like,
I saw some stuff about Donald Trump that I was pretty convinced was real until the guy told me it wasn't, and I was like, that's not real. He's like, no. It was crazy, bro. I mean, some of this stuff is incredible. Like, I mean. As scary as it is, it's still incredible. Art is incredible. If somebody can create a piece of AI that can do that, that's still art. That's incredible to me. It's a little scary, but it's fucking nuts,
it is
man.
What it is,
listen,
man.
I want to do every job possible. I'll just
hell yeah.
When AI comes, I'll probably be dead before it matters.
You know, I mean,
Nah.
it'll likely be a while. I
You'll
would
be
think.
old as shit, but you won't be dead.
My man said you'll be old as shit, but you won't be dead.
I feel like it's going to be a while before I get replaced by a computer.
Well, hey, I have to go open my store in a few minutes, but the last thing that I will say to you guys is that I will continue to keep an eye on what you guys are doing. I'm going to follow you on social and all that jazz. And if I see another project that you guys pop up in, just expect an email from me because I will want to talk to you about it. I really appreciate your time, man. And anything I can do to help, let me know. I don't know what that might be, but I am more than willing to help out. So you guys have been awesome. Thank you for your time. And I will see y'all. I'll see y'all later, man. I hope Malum does wonderful numbers on VOD and disc.
Thanks,
Randall.
Thanks,
all right,
Randall.
guys. Later on, man.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.